Hello and welcome to Mom's Way to Wellness. I am your host, Aida Maravillas, and today we are talking about how overcommitting can lead to burnout and how to say no. As a mom and therapist working with families for over 20 years, I am still learning what it looks like and what it feels like to honor my capacity in different seasons of motherhood. What if burnout isn't just about doing too much, but about saying yes to things that don't match your capacity? As we continue our series about burnout, today we are talking about honoring our capacity and how it can help us to avoid feeling burnt out. And when I say capacity, I mean being able to recognize how much we carry, how much we are already carrying, how much we can realistically handle, and noticing if we keep adding to it. You know, there was a season in my life when I said yes to so many opportunities. I genuinely loved being part of a community that came together to serve the needs of others. I was volunteering, I was showing up in different spaces, I was using my gifts and connecting with others in a way that felt meaningful, and it kept me busy. It gave me something to do with my kids. And it meant so much to me because it's something that I didn't experience growing up. So I wanted to be able to give my kids a different experience than what I had. Saying yes was easy to do because I didn't learn much about saying no when I was growing up. What I didn't realize at the time was that I wasn't slowing down long enough to ask. Is what I'm giving to others also serving my family? And is it serving my family well? Then I learned a very important lesson. As I sat in a meeting filled with volunteers, I did what I tend to do. I watched all the other women, the mentors, the leaders, and I looked at how they were answering and how they were committing to different things. And when we were discussing an upcoming event, I looked at one woman who simply looked at her calendar and said, I can't commit to that day. And that was it. She did not offer a long explanation. She did not justify how she was going to be using her own time with her family or any reason why. And no one asked her for an explanation either. She just said it with grace and confidence at the same time. And I was so struck by it that it stayed with me, even to this day. It turned out that being unavailable or saying no was an option after all. I've seen this in my own life, and I've seen it in the families I've worked with, especially families that are involved in activities, sports, and ministries. A lot of times we didn't grow up being taught to say no. We learned to comply, to follow through, and to be responsible. We learned to work hard and to honor our commitments. And while those things matter, boundaries matter too. Because without boundaries, we can feel like we are responsible for everything. And we already have a lot we're responsible for. So we end up saying yes because we don't want to disappoint others. We feel guilty. We want to belong, or we don't even recognize that we have other options. And over time, overcommitment can lead to burnout. We don't give ourselves a chance to take a break, to tune into the needs of our family, or to even accept that it is okay to have a day on the calendar that isn't filled with commitments. And, I want to take a moment here to also speak to the moms who work outside of the home and we're part of a bigger system in a work setting that isn't necessarily volunteer. It might not feel as optional because it also is the place where we earn our check. And this is the thing about burnout and being part of a big system, is that we need to look for ways that we're able to take care of ourselves within the system, or see how the system can support us and support our well-being and support our lunch hours, our protected time to take care of the responsibilities that we have to take care of. And we may not always be able to say no to certain things at work that are assigned to us, but we can advocate and we can discuss from a solution based approach, things that are working and things that can improve, or if responsibilities can be delegated in different ways or shared in different ways. And so there's a place and there's a way and there's a time that we maybe have different opportunities to consider what our capacity is and consider whether or not this system is a good fit for where we are in life and for what we need to do to honor our bodies and to be able to show up as the best version of ourselves for our family units. Because burnout happens not only when we overcommit to volunteer activities, to ministry opportunities, but to projects and extra things in a work setting. I want to challenge you. I really do. I want to challenge you today to take a moment and to reflect on all of your commitments and ask yourself, where is this commitment coming from? Is this commitment coming from something I feel called to or something I feel obligated to? Is this aligned with the season that I am in right now? And then, for deeper reflection, ask yourself, how is this impacting my mood? How is this impacting my relationships at home? How is this affecting how I show up for myself? And how is this impacting my family? Because kids don't always understand what's going on, but they can feel it more than we realize it. Kids can feel our presence. They can feel our absence, even when we're in the room and we're just emotionally checked out. They can feel our mood, and they can feel when we have reached our capacity. Having the wisdom to decide on when to say yes or when to say no can serve you and your family well. Remember that burnout can result from slowly saying yes to more than we were meant to carry. So give yourself permission to pause, to evaluate, and to adjust, and to tune into your current season and decide what your capacity is. What can you handle saying yes to in your current season of motherhood? Some practical ways to say no can be something that you practice when you're not put on the spot with a question. It's okay to say some things like, let me check my schedule and get back to you. Or, I'm not sure if that'll work for me right now. Or, I'm sorry, I'm not available. Or, I can't commit to this event. Or, like the woman that day in the meeting, I'm not available on that day. And I want to ask you to consider, what's one thing that you can say no to this week? Remember, honoring your capacity is a way of honoring yourself, your family, and the things that you are already committed to. Thank you for being with me today on Mom's Way to Wellness as we consider to explore burnout for moms. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you thought of someone who can use the encouragement that you received from this episode, please share it with them. If you would like to receive the monthly newsletter and insider information about the show, you can sign up to be part of the Mom's Way to Wellness community at aidamaravillas.com.